Hi, and welcome to Karen's Kitchen Easy. Together, with our kitchen basics, tips, and tricks, we're going to make you the star of your kitchen. If you enjoy this video, be sure to check out my YouTube channel. And look at the link below this video. It will take you to karenskitcheneasy.com, where you can find a printable version of today's recipe. And just remember, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But wait, it is easy, and you can do it too. Today's recipe is 3 Aises up your sleeve. Today's recipe is Hollandaise. Now, Hollandaise has a lot in common with mayonnaise and, of course, the third Aise, which is Béarnaise. But in this case, we still have our 3 main ingredients. In this recipe, we have, instead of oil, we have butter. So we have 1 stick of butter. And then we have 3 eggs, 3 egg yolks, I should say, and in this case, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. So that is slightly different from mayonnaise, but we still have the fat, the egg yolks, and the acid, and a teaspoon of salt. Now, in case you've never done it before, I'm going to show you how to separate an egg yolk from an egg white, because we only need the yolks. So take a whole egg, crack it on the table very gently, put your thumbs along the crack, and then just very gently open the egg up so that half of the shell is in either hand. Now you can see the egg yolk is in one side of the shell, and you can just very gently let the white dangle into a container, and then pour it into the other shell, and you're going to pour it back and forth a couple of times to be sure you have all the little bits of egg white out. And there we have a separated egg. Now you can use the egg white for something else if you like. You can actually freeze it. But in this case, we just want the egg yolks. Now we're going to put our 3 egg yolks and our 2 tablespoons of lemon juice in a bowl, and we're just going to whisk it together. Now, because we don't have the egg white in, it's not going to take that long to whisk because we don't have to break up the albumin. But there we have it all stirred together, and it's actually going to already start thickening on its own. But to that, we're going to then add a teaspoon or a little less of salt and get that all whisked together. Now, this is actually a cooked sauce or condiment. So the next step we're going to do is actually go to our stove and start cooking our ingredients. So I'll see you at the stove. Now, for making hollandaise, I prefer using a wok because it has no corners or edges for the sauce to get hidden in. And usually you use a water bath to cook it over, but I have something called a heat diffuser, and I love to use this thing. It's 2 layers of metal separated by an air cushion inside, and what it does is allows the heat to spread out and diffuse and become a little softer. So I'm going to set this under my wok and turn it on. And the first thing I'm going to do is melt the butter. So I'll just put the butter in my wok, and you're not going to want to brown the butter. So you want to watch it to be sure that it just melts and doesn't go any further than that. So in go our pieces of butter. You want to stir it every once in a while to be sure that it's melting evenly. And as I said, not browning, because you don't want browned butter. There are some recipes that actually call for browned butter, and that gives the butter a little bit more flavor. But in this case, no. So there we are. Our butter is all melted. Now to this then, in very slowly, we're going to add our egg mixture. Keep stirring as you do this because we don't want scrambled eggs. We just want the eggs to start thickening in our melted butter. And as you can see in my bowl, that egg yolk has already started thickening, so we're going to have to actually stir it up a little bit. So there we have our egg yolks added into our mixture. And this is where you're going to have a little bit of patience because you're going to want to let it cook over medium-low heat for about 5 minutes. And you want to keep stirring it because, again, if you don't, your sauce is going to separate. That means the the melted butter is going to become separate from the eggs, and we don't want that. But look, it's already getting beautiful and thick. And so just keep stirring it, and it keeps thickening as we go. And stirring and stirring. And this is going to take a few minutes. And as you can see, we're just getting thicker and thicker, and it's just behaving beautifully here. Now, once you finish cooking it, and we're going to let it go another couple of minutes here. If you see some little bitty lumps in there, something that hasn't cooked really evenly, you can take it out of the wok and put it in a blender or use your stick blender and give it a good whirl, and that should make it nice and creamy back up. And if your sauce separates, and remember I said that's when the butter becomes separate from the egg mixture, you can actually take it off the heat, drop a raw egg yolk into your mixture, use your whisk or your immersion blender and just give it a good whisk, and it pulls everything back together again, just like magic. But as you can see, it's getting beautiful and creamy here, and this sauce goes great with vegetables. There are a number of vegetables that are very classically done with Hollandaise. One is asparagus, broccoli. There are a lot of green vegetables. Brussels sprouts go great with Hollandaise. It also goes great with some meats. Eye of round, which is a cut of beef that's very, very lean, goes great with that. It can go great with a loin of pork or tenderloin, goes great with that. And of course, the classic combination is Eggs Benedict, which is simply an English muffin with a layer of either country ham or Canadian bacon and an egg on top of that, usually poached, and occasionally a grilled tomato. And then you pour the Hollandaise over it, and it's a delicious breakfast. You can keep it in the refrigerator for a little bit, but you do want to warm it up a little bit in the microwave before you serve it. Warm it up for about 20 seconds, and then take your whisk and re-blend it back together. But there we have it, a beautiful sauce that people will think you slaved all day over. And just remember, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But wait, it is easy, and you can do it too. So I'll see you next time on Karen's Kitchen Easy.